out. You're there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And we're just using no picture.
Exactly.
Okay, good. So, well, hi. How are you, first off?
I'm good.
Okay.
Ready to travel to the States tomorrow.
Oh, wow. So I really caught you. All right. So I really appreciate your time. But I just felt like it was like a 911 and I wanted to just like hear, although it's sort of like dying out, thank God, because it just really doesn't put anybody that thinks of themselves as an Israeli in a good light. Anyway, we'll jump in and then we'll just start to discuss. So, hi, it's Alyssa.
And it's Seth.
And we're Short Hills, live in the Middle East. So, hi, we're going to make it a quick one because I know that you're traveling and I really appreciate your time. And we're making some changes in Short Hills Live, but Seth will be with us, ghetto, here, there, and everywhere. And when it's so important, and in this case, it's so important because, as many heard, it's all over the global press because, hey, nothing better than bad news about Israel. But we had 12 boys that were arrested in Cyprus for allegedly gang raping a woman. They immediately sent 5 boys back when they realized they weren't even in the room and had nothing to do with her. And then they investigated 7 boys very hard. In the end, all the boys came back to Israel. And now the girl that accused all the boys of rape is arrested. Okay.
Correct, because it was a bogus story.
Okay. So, of course, I had to hear what you had to say because, you know, I have a different opinion. And I've actually been seeing a lot of people with my opinion. So let's just sort of talk about it. You really shut that down when you said bogus story.
Well, it basically is a bogus story. First of all, my opinion is the boys were lucky that they videotaped it because it actually showed that it was consensual. I have a problem with the behavior because this is unattractive behavior for anybody, but we have to realize if we live in a society where all behavior is acceptable, and we've talked about this, then why isn't this behavior acceptable? I'm not approving of it, but what I'm saying is that the boys, and this is not a traditional opinion, were very lucky that it was videotaped, and I think everybody should videotape interactions like this, because her claim proved to be bogus. She consented to some terrible behavior, and the boys should not have participated in that behavior. But if they had not had it on video, when their lawyers pointed it out, her claim would have been that she was raped.
Okay.
They were lucky.
Hold on. I think that was part of it, the video. I also think that she was questioned very hard, and it was a horrible situation. As far as I'm concerned, all in that room lost innocence, period.
Of course, but we're not talking about a society that has any innocence anyway.
Okay, number one, we're talking about teenage boys. We're talking about a radically drunk 19-year-old girl that, call her easy or whatever her issue was, she definitely got deep issues. She's flawed at some level. And she's also done something like this in the past. So it's all very, very sketchy and very, very shady.
That's not my point. My point is, if you're going to go, as I said, by Torah mores, boys and girls should not be in these types of situations at all. There's a separation.
Okay, then at the same time, a sign of a kippah in an airport was really blew my mind. I'm really sorry. My first question was, were these kippah wearing boys all the time, or did they don the kippah in the airport for the press? Because as you're the religious person, but I also have a lot of love for Judaism, and you know that. I was appalled. I was appalled by the Hebrew Jewish songs they were singing about courage and bravery and strength. I mean, it was disturbing. And a champagne toast to underage kids.
Yeah, there's nothing to be celebrated in this story.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Lack of innocence along the way.
Okay. There's nothing to be celebrated in this story.
Okay, I'm glad you agree on that part with me.
There's nothing to be celebrated in this story. 100%. That's not what I'm saying. And the boys hid behind their Jewishness wearing kippahs. That is not becoming behavior.
Not at all. I was really mortified by it.
We don't live in a society with becoming behavior. When we have when we have people marching naked in the street talking about pride and things like that. We live in a very promiscuous society. What I'm saying is, and this is not talked about in the press, the boys were very lucky, and no one's going to say this, that it was videotaped.
I think it's crazy that you're saying it also
said,
because, you know, in certain places, and I have gotten myself in trouble for videotaping. I mean, come on, like, but, you know, to videotape without someone's consent, especially a sexual act, is really wrong. I understand where you're saying, quote unquote, they are lucky that they did it, but it was more that the girl felt pressured by the investigator.
She consented to
Seth, there's a lot of, have you seen the video?
Of course not, but
okay, so it's going around.
No. I read extensively what was the reason that the boys are home free now is that the video said what they said, that the girl was willing participant in it and knew that she was being videotaped. She had remorse afterwards.
Okay.
Whether she has psychological problems, the boys have problems also. They should not have been in that situation.
Not at all.
But the reason that they're free is that there's a videotape.
Okay, I get it. I also have been thinking a lot about this, and I just want to put certain things in perspective. I believe the girl is totally guilty. She will get punished, or I believe she may not get punished. It should be an interesting thing. I heard the Israeli lawyers all want to sue her. I'm not too sure how far that will go. But I do
that
know
won't go over well because she's a problem person.
Right. So, but what I'm saying right now, hold on. What I'm saying right now is that a girl went into something and she went into something as a British girl. She didn't know the Israeli behavior. I can tell you, Seth, I would never walk into a room with 12 teenagers that look like that are from Israel. I would be scared. I believe this girl used terrible judgment. I believe she thought she was doing something fun, and I think these boys thought that maybe this would be like a silly thing or whatever it is. I think she got into it, and I think then she got scared. They booted her out. I mean, the whole thing is terrible. I think she sat down with her friends afterwards, and she was beat up and bruised. And her friends said, "Are you sure you enjoyed it? Like, it was a good, good, bad, and different. Like, you were raped."
First of all, you didn't see the tape either. No one saw the tape.
Many saw the tape. So it was on WhatsApp. It was on WhatsApp, and we went deeply into this in the women's website that I told you. We all have a page on Facebook. It did get into people's WhatsApp, and many girls saw it, and they spoke about it. And a lot of people are saying, she smiled. No, I don't need to look at it, but I heard she smiled. I heard she had her. I answered you 3 times already. I said I did not. But I heard the girl.
So let's not talk about the tape. What I'm saying is I read what the lawyer's response was, that he saw the tape. And he pointed out to the police, is this consensual? And the reason that she is being executed now and the boys are is that it was clearly consensual.
Okay, no, I'm not negating the consensual part. I'm saying she consented and she got into it. And then she got in too deeply. And what I'm saying to you, because you cut me, is that she sat down with her friends and her friends said, you were raped. And she was like, no.
Listen.
One second. Let me finish a thought. I let you finish thoughts. Let me finish the thought. I believe that's what happened. And then she went to the. But Seth, let me finish. She went to the police. But hold on. She went to the police. You do. Okay, we're not living in such a black and white world. I'm really sorry, Seth. You don't. Okay, you can push back all you want, but imagine you go into something. By the way, there have been cases where women have had consensual sex, and in the end, whatever they wanted to do, they had to stop or whatever it is, or the guy pushed or beat her up or did something violent in the end. It was turned. It was turned.
Understand that.
But if she made a bad mistake, so she was under hardcore questioning. But you haven't allowed me to say. All right, you win.
No.
You're not allowing a conversation, Seth. You're cutting it. All I'm trying to say to you is that woman went in, and then when she was beaten down by the investigator, she was like, yes, I consented to it. And I can tell you probably right now, as a woman.
It's a terrible situation. Women should be forewarned. Do not put yourself in that situation. By the way,
I'm not saying exactly, and I'm not saying that.
Once you consent, what? Then the boys have no recourse. Then if consent is I can't consent and then say I don't consent after the fact. You can't go into a contract and say
So
I agree to
what?
something and
What
then say
was?
I don't agree afterwards.
What was 13 condom wrappers? What was 5 used condom wrappers? What was the bloody hand? What was all the bruises? You know, you gotta start. I believe, listen, the boys are back. Let them be in Israel. Let them be quiet. Let them go to some lessons.
First of all, they should not celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate.
Mapitom, it's disgusting.
But your facts and whatever you're reading are incorrect. If they had done that, they would have been accused. She consented. I don't care. Once you consent, you can't go back and say, I don't consent afterwards. That's not the way it works.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what the court of law says. I just really
The court already dismissed.
No,
it.
on her side. On her side.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. So before you're jumping, and I wanted just to say, as a women's perspective, I started thinking, my God, what happened in that room? We'll never know. And honestly, I really don't care to see the video, but I know a girl, I know her well. She sort of gave me some details on it, and I got it. The bottom line, it was wrong, altogether wrong. She's wrong for having, gotten herself involved, for like calling it rape. The whole thing is so sick and demented. But to celebrate in the Israeli airport with a kippah, with champagne for underage boys, and to sing Jewish Hebrew songs, not even Hebrew songs, Jewish Hebrew songs, is sad.
No, I 100% agree. No one.
That's all I wanted to really talk about, okay? Because we weren't in that room.
No celebration there.
And there's a lack of innocence, big time.
Of course, but the point is something much more, a lesson to be learned. Women should never put themselves in that situation, nor should boys put themselves in that situation.
Exactly.
But once you consent, the way the law has to read is that the boys did not do something.
But if she said stop, if she said no, I don't know if that's on the video. I have no idea if there's anything like that.
Never, as a woman, put yourself in a situation. This is animalistic behavior. This is something that everybody should know. And if she didn't know it, everybody should learn a lesson from it now.
Exactly. And at the same time, listen, there's enough sites. Everyone's talking about it. People are upset. Consenting adults can do whatever they want. They could have their swingers parties. They can do it. But Seth, they could do. But I'm just saying, giving a voice of what I've heard. Okay, let them do whatever they want. But these were teenagers. Where did they learn this crap? Where did they learn this crap? And these
they learn it from the mores of the pride parades and all that stuff that says anything goes. Nothing goes. That's why I keep talking about it. Mores and morals. If you don't have Torah morals, then this behavior will happen.
Okay, so if you want to talk about Torah morals, I just had a situation where I had a religious guy in a car that almost hit me. So you know what? It's not just about pride parade and if they want to put it out. People in general need to be better people. It doesn't matter if they're religious or gay or whatever they are. They just need to be better people.
Of course it matters. 100%.
What? You have to be religious to be you need to be a good person. You need to be a law-abiding citizen.
Matters where you take your behaviors from. If there are no rules, then anything goes. If there are rules, they apply to whether you wear a kippah or not. Those rules apply.
Got it.
If the people were following Torah rules, this would never have happened because the boys wouldn't have been in a room because that's objectionable behavior. The woman is, I don't think she wouldn't be in the room either. I don't know if she's Jewish or not Jewish. But it has nothing to do with it. It's against the law for Gentiles also.
Great. But the bottom line is they shouldn't have also donned a kippah, and that really drove me crazy.
Agree with that,
yeah. So that was really mostly about it, and most religious people are really freaked out about it because I keep putting on all the sites where these boys kippah wearing.
These boys are certainly not religious based on that behavior.
Well,
so
you can take a look at them.
This is not a religious behavior.
By the way, all you have to do is take a look at them and you understand where they're coming from. I see a lot of this behavior on the sea. I see out of controlness. I see rudeness. I see just violence, angry. I've seen it, okay? We use a term. Let's be real honest. Let's use a term. And it's ARS, A-R-S. It's a terminology in Israeli society, ausim. And this was quintessential ausim behavior. I'm going to put it out there.
Right. It's not religious behavior. So let's not
It's
play
not religious behavior. Let's not play it as it. It's disgusting. It's foul. It needs to change. There needs to be more education, obviously.
It's not going to change. I'm sorry. It's not
Why?
going
Because
to
of the
change.
liberal mindset.
Correct.
Yeah. I hear you. Somebody on a site called it deviant behavior, and this other woman went ballistic about how it's not deviant. And then you look in her profile and you see like, oh my God, I understand why she's saying that's not deviant. It's just a typical, it's this constant righting the wrongs, like rewriting the religion. It's this constant behavior that I keep seeing.
Yeah, so you can dress it up. People can pretend that they're religious, but this is not observant religious behavior.
I mean, I'm just shocked that they're teenagers and they did it. And it's such a horrible story on every level. And I mean,
I'm not shocked.
You know what, Seth? I'm not shocked either. That's why when the news came out and these boys were accused, I can't say I was like, oh, they are definitely innocent across the board. I'm an American woman in Israeli society. You don't think that I understand how I'm treated? There is the women were speaking about this, an underlying rape culture that exists here. And maybe it exists all over the world, but there is something weird about the way men treat women in Israel. I'm a woman. I haven't been treated so well. And that's not just in a sexual or a relationship manner, just across the board. Lost manners, lost respect for women.
Women should not put themselves in that situation.
I'm not talking about a sexual situation. I'm talking offensichtlich. I'm talking in general, Seth. It's something is stinks here. It stinks.
Yeah, but it stinks all over. The Duke lacrosse thing.
I think that a man in America holds the door open. Just little things like that. You start at your basics. Just treat your boys to be good men. That's it. Bottom line. Not to be gever, the guy, not to be a macho man, not to be this. No, to treat women as equals and as human beings and as kindred spirits and souls, and that's not happening here.
It's not happening anywhere.
I don't agree.
I don't know if you've listened to rap music or seen any movies or anything like that. This kind of culture is celebrated. So to say that when you hear music and music lyrics that should make anybody
oh my God, are you kidding? Cardi B, I took her off like everything. I mean, she's disgusting. That's not on the big radio stations. I went in and I happened to listen on the YouTube and I was shocked what I heard. Shocked.
I'm sorry, it's all over the radio. It's popular culture. This is what's acceptable today. All the kids listen to it. Parents are listening to it because the kids have it on. And to say that behavior then is shocking when this is... Have you looked at rap videos?
I don't like them. They disturb me. They're so icky.
So it's all celebrating rape culture. So I don't know why people are surprised that this happens.
Well, because that music has gotten to Israel and it's the hottest thing here. So yeah, this is... Yeah.
Were you just celebrating... What do you think is going on in all those Israeli clubs? Dancing... till all hours of the night.
Not orgies.
Think that's going on?
Not orgies. Maybe there is, but those are consenting adults.
It's going on.
They're not teenagers.
Going on.
But those are adults. They're not teenagers. Whatever. I mean, it's not for me to tell somebody what to do when the door closes,
Of course,
and if I'm going to do it, be kind.
Either you're going to have a society that says that behavior is repugnant, or you're going to have teenagers, which you're upset by, modeling their behavior at what adults say is acceptable. You can't have it both ways. That's my point.
I understand, sort of that liberal mindset saying everything is acceptable, but what adult is going out and saying, yeah, gangbang is okay? It's not okay.
All adults. That's the popular culture. I listen to that music when I hear it on the radio. It's saying that gangbangs is okay.
Well, then you should stop listening. You should stop listening to that music. I don't listen to that music. I don't listen to
it, but it comes on the radio every once in a while, and I hear the lyrics.
Ugh. All right. I think at the end of the day, we're pretty much on the same page in a weird sort of way, how we get there.
I think, and I've been saying it for a long time, that men in this society should be wearing cameras all the time to protect themselves.
And some Israeli guy just told me I was paranoid. Whoa!
I will leave with the point that men are endangered. And the reason that these boys who did something horribly wrong I'm not approving of it. But they had consent. That's why they're free. When women go into an office place and dress provocatively and dress on the street like that, what do they think that they're going to behavior? They're going to.
I hear you. I hear you. The women on Belle Aviv attacked me when I said the girl said people are getting attacked in the night, and I said, girls, just make sure this is going on. And they, oh my God, I got ripped apart. Literally, that I was a horrible woman. Like it has nothing to do with what you dress like. I'm like, it does. It does. Don't entice. Don't entice what you don't want to bring on.
And women who say that it doesn't have anything to do with how they dress and things like that are,
well, I think it's behavior.
Part of the problem.
Behavior.
Second, what?
Behavior. I mean, it's what you're wearing and your behavior, what you're wearing. I mean,
what response are you trying to provoke?
Exactly. I agree.
Of course.
What do you want? What are you looking for? All right, dude, let me send you off with many blessings of Nesiat Tova. I thank you for your time, your useful insight. It means a lot, and I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. I'll talk to you from the other side.
All right. Peace out. See ya. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Shemitai. Shalom, Kibibai. Lots of light.
Israeli out.
Nesiat Tova, dude.
Bye.
Bye.